Cheers! How's it going, guys? I want to show you something today. It is cast iron Polini 207, 208, however shop's gonna call it, and Polini 210 aluminium coated running surface. The new one from about 2014 is exactly like the old one from the 80s. The port layout is the same, the piston, the weak asso piston is the same. It is just the material and the running surface is coated. So it is still a very good alternative to take an old cast iron Polini and just give him a different piston, because you might have seen my other guides. The pistons are not really good and they are sadly still sold. That's the asso piston in pinasco 213, 225, whatever, Polini 208, 210, and that's the current malossi piston. It's from Vertex, but the old asso malossi piston was the same, and this is a ground sport piston, already opened and even stronger than the Vertex. It's still a good alternative if you want to have a cheap malossi sport 210, as it is the best rotary valve touring cylinder. You just take a cast iron, just throw away this piston, take a malossi piston, or even better, a gross sport piston. The only thing you have to do is, of course, to rebore the cylinder from 208, 207 to 210, that the piston will fit. I don't know, you can look it up. Maybe even Gross Sport does offer for the original bore for just 208. You will find it online. The only trick I recommend is that, yes, we see it. With the 208, you should cut open the cylinder bolt channels. How do you do that? You see this? I might point to this one. This is cut open. You can cut open between the cooling grips 1, 2, 3, 4 times all around the cylinder, and use a flex grinder without the protection shield. You cut it open. This goes very easy. Just be careful not to harm your fingers. Or the other option, which is a little bit more, yeah, it takes more work, because it only cuts, it slices it thin, and this will slice it thick. You can use a saw. That's my recommendation for the cast iron Polini. I did quite a lot of them also as a malossi, and they do have good punch. The trick: cylinder bolt cut open all around. Oh yeah, can be seen, it's here. All around the cylinder. Why is that? The cooling air from the flywheel is going between the cooling grips, and if these channels are open, it helps cooling the cylinder bolts. Because what we know and what we see often is that if it clamps, if a cylinder sizes, it's often where the cylinder bolts are. So if you can add here some additional coolings, 4 ribs down on each side, this is good. This makes your cylinder even more sustainable. Cheers, guys. See ya. Gross sport piston in a Polini cast iron. How does it look like? It looks like that. Let me see, center it over the boost port, it's here. So the side ports are open here. There we go. On both sides that works fine, and the boost port window here is also open, so it fits the Polini very well. Cast iron or aluminium. Problem with aluminium is when it sizes one time, mostly the coating is hurt. You can throw away the cylinder. You can still, depending on how much did jump off of the coating, you can still use it, but the coating is damaged. As we know from the original Vespa, original cylinders, cast iron material, yeah, you can size it 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8 times, and if you manage to pull the choke, etc. and so on, check out the guide. I'm gonna put an info card. It will still run fine, so it has advantages, especially when you are on tour. So it is definitely still an option to make a nice touring cylinder out of 208 Polini instead of using an aluminium. And if you wonder why this is missing, no, I didn't break it, I just cut it off, because kind of this part of the cylinder foot is standing in the flow. So why not try it without it? This cylinder foot part, and it works fine.
ein Biest!
Sorry. Ja.
Bist du deppert, ist das ein Biest jetzt?